Hello everyone and welcome to Pause Lesson 16. Today we are learning about persistence and resilience, dealing with change, which means when things are different to what we expect them to be, what do we need to do to cope with them? You will be successful when you know and understand what change is and are able to identify and deal with it in your daily life. Persistence. If you have persistence, you continue to do something even though it is difficult or challenging for you. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after a challenging situation. The knowledge gained in the Pause program gradually builds students' ability to be persistent and resilient in their daily life. To be persistent and resilient, students need to notice the signals their amygdala sends to them before it fires, take action to settle the signals by using one or more of the Pause processes. Now, when you put persistence and resilience together, you get grit. Now, what is grit, you might ask? Grit is the ability to keep working toward a goal, overcoming challenges and sticking with it even when it's hard. The true definition of grit, we would say that grit is a personality trait that helps to keep you working towards a long-term goal despite the setbacks or failures. It is similar to perseverance and it requires a growth mindset, like we've already learned about in the Pause program. Similar to character traits, that means that you are willing to keep working and improving at something despite the challenges that get in your way. This is an excellent video to show the students about explaining what grit is, and it's referring to persistence and resilience throughout it. It's brilliant. These are 3 little stories that you can share with your younger children over a period of time, and it shows how the main character works through some of the challenging situations that come his way. This is a cute little video that I found, again for younger students, and they use one of those little rounded bottom dolls, and shows how that they keep bouncing back. And for the younger students to grasp the concept of what it means to bounce back, this little clip is an excellent one to show them. Now, in this lesson, we have a story that you can share with the kids, which is called Who Moved My Cheese? It was written a long time ago, and it was also based from an adult book that was used to share with business leaders. The story is easily accessed, but there is also a YouTube clip, which is about a 20-minute video explaining the story. And when I've shared this with classes and students across the schools that I've taught Pause in, they've really connected to it. But I have to admit, it was better to watch it over a couple of sessions instead of watching it all in one go. The metaphors used in the story Who Moved My Cheese are the cheese, which is the metaphor of what you would like in life, your friends, sports, grades, recognition, and then the maze of where you spend most of your time looking for things, home, school, family, friends. This explains it a little bit more. This slide explains who moved my cheese, and you can unpack that with the kids. And it's fantastic. They connect the characters to what their brains are doing. So, you know, hem and haw, what's happening with their amygdalas, and are they using their prefrontal cortexes? Sniff and scurry, the kids are really quick to grasp it. Oh yeah, they keep their amygdalas calm, and they're sort of more of a bubblegum brain, and they can stretch and bend and be flexible and adapt to change. Great conversations come out of reading the story or watching the YouTube video. Now, what happens in our brain when we are dealing with change? When the brain is dealing with change, its amygdala becomes alert, and it can fire the signals of unsettledness when we're not comfortable with the situation. So as we've taught throughout the Pause program for the students to be a pause detective and pay attention to the signals that they may receive, examples, butterflies in the belly, fast beating heart, jelly legs, they can quickly make the connections between when they're having to do something that they're uncertain of, or they have to change a pattern that they normally haven't had an opportunity to do. They might notice these signals. And long as they can use the pause processes to calm themselves down, they will be able to make sure that their bubblegum brain is switched on and that they can work through the challenges. These are two more YouTube clips that help to explain looking at problems and the perspective of problems, like what size is the problem and how can you work towards solving it. We have a couple of posters that you can put up in your classroom in regards to the catastrophe scale and helping kids understand the size of their problem and what is happening in their brain when they're looking at the different sizes of the problems. Example, a glitch or a little problem. You've got your guard dog who's mainly asleep or slightly alert, but your prefrontal cortex is switched on all the time. Therefore, the kids understand that they have their problem-solving part of the brain switched on and they can use it to make good decisions. It's only really in the higher two, when the problems become too difficult, is when their amygdala can tend to fire. This is the upper school poster. We also have linked this lesson to the zones of regulation because I know a lot of schools use the zones and it's absolutely fantastic strategy to have in your classroom. And the difference with this poster of the zones is that I've got the pause processes at the bottom of the poster, reminding the kids what they can do and what the brain is doing in each of those areas. These are the little activities, if you're using the student booklet, that you can work through with your students. Thank you very much.